She is a speaker who is the person who is not afraid to tell the truth and yet is persecuted for telling the truth about this such thing. It's a change we need to see in Australia. Please welcome Kirralie Smith.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to state a few obvious facts that right now I am Kirralie Smith, and unlike all the other speakers today, I am a woman, an adult human female. But you already knew that. It wasn't hard to work out. And just so we're clear, a person born with a penis cannot or is not a woman, ever. Revelation, I know. Women are not an idea, a fantasy, a costume, a drug, or a surgical procedure. We just are. We're just women. There are endless expressions of what it is to be a woman, but the one thing that unites us all is our biological reality. And it is our sex, our biology, that we rely on to determine whether or not we're a woman. People who follow gender ideology deny that same reality and deny what sex is. It's not rocket science, but it is science, and it's biology 101. In fact, you don't even have to learn anything about biology. Even very little children can tell the difference between males and females. So why am I making all these obvious, ridiculous, sensible, really, quotes or statements? Because apparently there's a lot of politicians in this country, the media, the police, and even the courts that are having trouble trying to determine the differences or what is a man and what is a woman. So last March, exactly 12 months ago, I had 2 New South Wales police officers turn up at my home and issue me with 2 applications for apprehension of violence orders against me. The alleged violence, because I look really violent, don't I? Like you're all trembling in your seats, scared of me. The alleged violence was identifying 2 male soccer players in female teams. I'd never even met these men. I've never even directed anything toward these men, and that's what they are, they're men. But because I took photographs and screenshots from the public domain, in fact from Football New South Wales' own page and Football Club's own page, and reposted them, I was accused of violence towards them. I was also accused of violence by Football Australia and one of their staff members in particular for asking, what is a woman and what's the point of having male and female divisions if males can dominate women in their own division? It's a reasonable question, isn't it? Like, seriously. But I was accused of that violence. I want to say that, this process that then followed for the next 12 months and is still ongoing boggles my mind. I get a sore neck every day pretty much from shaking my head going, what is going on? In the first instance, the Football Australia employee withdrew her application 5 minutes before going before the magistrate. Good word. I spent the next 6 months preparing a very expensive legal defence. We had to do all the mentions and the directions hearings and everything that goes on, as many of you are aware with court cases. We turn up, and that AVO was issued by the police on behalf of one of those players. I can't say a whole lot about it because there's still some ongoing matters, but it just boggles my mind that they got involved in this. So they made that application on behalf of that player. It took us 6 months. We got to Burwood Local Court in Sydney. We spent 5 hours there that day waiting for the magistrate to be able to hear the case. And again, we stood up in court 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after lunch, after we'd been there, after I have the former New South Wales Attorney General Greg Smith prepare my case, after the current New South Wales Attorney General sent 1 barrister and 2 solicitors at your expense to sit in court all day, the police stood up and said, we withdraw, no apology, no explanation, and no opportunity for costs. But that wasn't over. I still had a third private application for an AVO against me that did go to hearing. And we sat in court all day in Foster Local Court in October last year. Then I was forced to wait till January when the magistrate finally denied that application. All of these things feel like a game of chicken. So far, I'm winning. I've stood firm. Now, those things are a massive relief, but in the process of all this happening, they also issued me with 2 complaints of vilification for calling them male. I don't know what else to say, I do, but for calling them male. They were referred to the Anti-Discrimination Commissioner in New South Wales, who then referred it to NCAT, which is the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal, who thankfully, the New South Wales Attorney-General did intervene on those cases on sort of my behalf to say that that's not the right jurisdiction to hear these cases because as the spokeswoman for Binary, we are a third-party political campaigner, we're registered, and we should have the opportunity and the ability to freely speak and criticise public policies that affect us all. So the first case has been dismissed. The second one we're hoping is about to, but we're still not finished because now they're applying, one of them has and one's about to take that vilification charge against me to the local court. And so we're going to begin this process all over again. So far my costs are up to $100,000. And they're not liable for any cost. They're all funded by the taxpayer so far. So it's very disappointing. Silencing political speech and free speech for women and girls about our own boundaries is misogynistic and abhorrent. And I will fight for all Australians to take aim not only at gender ideology, but at every ideology that stands in the way of our freedoms. We all should be really deeply concerned about the lies that have been legislated, and I'm so thankful for the senators in this room and for others who have stood up on our behalf and spoken out. I've only got a few more minutes, but I do want to acknowledge Senator Malcolm Roberts, one of my heroes, who I'm deeply appreciative of all the work that you do, not just in the gender space, but I want to say, thank you so much. What an outstanding, if you haven't seen the video of Senator Malcolm Roberts questioning this Sex Discrimination Commissioner, Anna Cody, please go and find it because it's one of the most entertaining and sad pieces of video you'll ever see in your life. When, just through reasonable questions, Senator Roberts was able to, I'll say expose, that the Sex Discrimination Commissioner cannot define what the word sex means or male and female. This commissioner would be getting paid a lot of our taxpayer dollars, cannot define her own portfolio, her own role. Because, thanks to Julia Gillard, she removed the definitions of sex, male and female from the Sex Discrimination Act. And so now we've got to do the really hard work just to get those simple terms back into legislation. And until we do, women like myself, Sal Grover, Louise Elliott and Moira Deeming and others are going to continually be persecuted in the public space because we simply speak the truth, but they've legislated lies instead. It's already been said by some people here this morning, thankfully, but I do want to restate that when it comes to gender ideology, it's all based on lies. There's no truth in it whatsoever. It's deception and it is lies. No one can change their sex. By all means, adults can dress however they like or take whatever drugs they want or even have the surgeries if they're available, but it doesn't change the fact that a male is always a male and a female is always a female. When we participate in that lie, we're not being kind, we're being cruel. We're being cruel to the person who is deceived, but we're also being cruel to the people who are being forced to accept those lies. It's happening in schools, it's happening in our communities, it's happening everywhere. And I just want to finish off by saying, what did Jesus just say of himself? He didn't say the truth is an idea or a concept that we should follow. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Whoever comes, the only way we can get to the Father is through him, but he is the truth. It's not a concept. He is a person, and it's undeniable. And so I do want to be really blunt and say, if you are anti the truth in any way, you are anti-Christ. There is no other way to say it. And as Pastor Chris said earlier, it is the truth that will set you free. It is the truth that will set gender-confused people free. It's the truth that will set our politicians free. It's the truth that will set us free. So it's a hard road to stand up and to be persecuted, but it shouldn't be a surprise. Jesus told us that this would happen when we speak the truth. He said not only that, but we'll be blessed when we're insulted and persecuted and these things happen to us for his name's sake. So I count it an honour and a privilege to speak the truth, to stand in this truth, and to be persecuted for the truth. Thank you.